Alright, I am back with another Destiny 2 video. I have about 8 million different topics I want to get to eventually, but this is one that keeps coming up. I find guides and things I think are better maybe for writing, and then I like talking about lore stuff a little more on video here. And one thing that keeps coming up is something called 2 Truths and 2 Lies. This is really easy to miss because it is not like a core part of the base campaign. I think it's after the campaign. There's a node on the map that's like another one of Savathun's like archive messages, and like I think if you do 2 of those a week, it actually gives you a powerful. I think it's kind of bugged because like sometimes like the node was there for when I did the first one, and then I tried to do a second one, and there wasn't a node anymore, and I don't really know how to get back to it. So I don't know what's going on with that, but see if you have the node. It's in like the middle of the throne world somewhere with like a mission icon. This is just a short little archive thing where you solve the puzzle, where you shoot the different runes, and then you fight an archivist and a hive guardian or whatever, and then you present something to Savathun, and she has a recorded memory for you. This is one that people are talking about a lot because it's called 2 Truths and 2 Lies. There's another one I found after this I'll talk about later, but I've only seen 2 so far. I'm not sure how many of these are or how they rotate or whatever's going on with them. But you've all heard of the game like 2 Truths and a Lie, where it's like a icebreaker where you say 2 true things about yourself, or three things about yourself, and then 2 of them are true, one of them's a lie, and people have to guess which one's a lie. With Savathun, we were playing 2 Truths and 2 Lies, although it's Savathun, so maybe it's 4 lies, we don't know. So here they are, and we're supposed to pick which of these are true and which of these are false. All right, so the first one is Titan, Venus, and Io are all under my care, my meaning Savathun. The Witness returned Mars to you. The power to move worlds will soon be yours. And then the last one, the Taken King will rise again. I'll get to that one last, but okay. So, as we know, Bungie wrote into the lore that the planets, moons, whatever that disappeared have been shrouded in darkness. They're not like gone per se, but they were just like a void that we couldn't get to. That obviously changed with Mars, but we still have not heard anything from Titan Io or he says Titan Venus or Io. Does she mean Titan Mercury? Did someone mistranslate that? I thought it was Mercury. I'm pretty sure it's Mercury. I could be wrong, but anyway, it's the planets that we can't access. We can't access Venus anyway outside of the legend. So the idea is that Savathun has somehow taken control of these. I don't like this one. I feel like either this one or the next one, The Witness Returned Mars to You, has to be true. Because one of these has to be true, one of them has to be false. Because if The Witness returned Mars, then wouldn't Mars have been under the Witness's care? Or I guess maybe the Witness could have returned all 4, and then Savathun kept 3 of them, which is a little unclear. So I am tending to believe, to kind of put these together, that the Witness did return Mars to us, because when Mars comes back, it is heavily influenced by the darkness. There is these sections that are like shredded through time, where there's like windows into the golden age. Like there's the cornfields you see at the beginning, and then there is the entire relic, the weapon shaping tool that is a completely new structure that the darkness put there. There's some bit of lore that like when Mars first came back, they didn't find that, but the relic came back more recently. So like Mars came back first, and then the relic appeared. So I am leaning toward that one being true. In order for the Witness to kind of spark all these events here, I think the Witness wanted to give us tools to hopefully destroy Savathun, because I don't think the Witness likes Savathun anymore, because Savathun's whole thing was trying to shed her darkness worm and become independent using the light. So I don't know if the missing planets and moons are under Savathun's care. I am more skeptical of that one. And then I think both of these are tied into the third one. The power to move worlds will soon be yours. So they talk about, this comes up in the campaign where Savathun's talking about the power not to take, but a greater power, the power to give. And this is a power that Oryx did not have or understand, and it was buried in the sacred texts of whatever they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but it's the power to give. And so the idea is that kind of, it seems like you can just like move enormous things from one place to another. So Savathun used that power to bring the traveler from Earth into her throne world, in her words, to protect it. And I think what this is implying here is that this is the ability to, like, this is what's been happening to the missing planets. We see at the very end, the Witness has like this collection of planets and things like hovering around it. I think Mars is in there even. And I don't know if those were like the literal planets, like he's, 5 light years tall or something, but I think it's like a representation that he has previously collected. Like we've heard about him being a collector of civilizations before. So this does seem like the ability to, wherever these planets were originally, to take them to some extent, and the ability to bring them back if you want to, which is what happened with Mars. I don't know exactly why people want to do this. Like, I don't know who wants Titan or Io. Like, this doesn't really seem... These don't seem like the most valuable of places. I guess Io is a place for the Traveler touchdown, so that is some significance. Mercury, I don't know. Maybe they wanted the lighthouse. I have no idea. But I think that's what this is talking about, is the power to move worlds, is the ability to, shroud them. And I think when they're shrouded, they're being, like, transported somewhere else, whether it's, like, physically transported to another part of the galaxy or, like, transported to, like, a different dimension in, darkness space, or, some things like that. Or as Savathun's case, you can transport stuff back and forth between a throne world. I have many questions about throne world rules after this whole expansion, but that might be a question for another day. And then, so as for whether that one's true or false, I think it's going to be, I want to say false because, like, I don't know. Also, I don't know if she means us as in us, we, the individual guardian, or us, like, humanity. So in theory, this could be a way to unsunset the old zones if in the future we get back the missing zones that have been sunset. I have a feeling that Bungie does not love the idea that they have had to remove so much content from Destiny. There's some, things to say about managing it and stuff like that, but I do believe that behind the scenes they are working to bring a lot of this stuff back. We have yet to see really anything brought back outside of 2 Crucible maps from Destiny 2 that was vaulted, but I can see us heading on a path where, because the idea is like they have to pretty much rebuild all of these zones from scratch, like under their new engine changes. So it's not just like, it's not only like they were removing them based on the size of the game and, some of the defunct activities. There were like technical concerns where I do wonder if with their kind of dramatic expansions and their, hiring up and stuff, that might be a project that some part of Bungie has been working on, is to bring back some of those old zones. So maybe if that does happen, then we would gain the power to move worlds and figure out, like, maybe there's a season where we work on bringing Io back or something like that. You know what I mean? So that is something I could see them writing into the lore. So I might classify that one as true, but it also seems like a kind of absurd power to give us, but we don't really know how much, like, how it works exactly. So we're not going to have definitive answers to what's true or false here. I'm kind of just discussing all theories, but this one is probably one of the more confusing ones. Finally, we will get to the Taken King will rise again. So some are taking this as a clue that the raid coming back is going to be King's Fall. That could be like a Bungie wink and a nod, and yet, so, like, here's the thing: if King's Fall does come back, it doesn't seem like it would be, the Taken King rising again, because when things come back like that, when Vault of Glass came back, it's a legend activity. It is locked into the time period when it first aired. It wasn't like they brought Vault of Glass back and it suddenly had new relevance to the story and there was like a new, all this new lore and stuff attached to it. Like, it was just a snapshot of Vault of Glass from way back when. So if the Taken King comes back and the Dreadnought comes back, it's not like, probably, unless they, do a dramatically different direction here, it's not like it is a new story thing of like, oh, Oryx is back and we have to run the exact same raid to kill him again. Like, that's hard to see, and I don't know if that makes sense. However, so the other new memory well thing that I found is one where it's Savathun just talking about Oryx and how she saw him right before he died, and I think she said she predicted he would die or like forecast he would die, and Oryx's response was, I am always glad to die. So that's interesting. So it seems like Oryx was not exactly caught by surprise that he was killed with the events of the Taken King. So whether that was some part of, a master plan, like I don't know. Like he's not exactly the cunning one, but it also, I do wonder if Savathun would like let him rise again. Like obviously, I don't think Savathun wants another Hive sibling coming back and being a Zivu Arath like servant of the darkness that she has to deal with. Is now she's fighting with her sister, and like I can't. It'd be hard to imagine Oryx coming back and pulling a Savathun and like having pure motivations and stuff, given all his past history with the darkness. That said, we do know now. Savathun could tell him about the lie, and how the darkness lied to them, and how the Traveler was supposed to give them the light, and they were essentially tricked into accepting their worms. So maybe that would change Oryx's mind. I don't know if we need Oryx back at this point. We've got enough Hive gods and siblings running around here. I would just be a little surprised if that happened, but I suppose you can't rule anything out. It's science fiction. There is always a way to bring back dead people, as I have done myself more than once. Like, it's, even though he died in the throne world, it's permanent. Nothing's permanent. Savathun herself is not dead. Like, we killed her at the end of the campaign. Her ghost got away. We're going to resurrect her at some point when we need her to help us with something. I am going to do a completely separate video on all the lore entries that are live right now, which is pretty much the entire Martin Missives book, which has some crazy stuff in it. Really, really crazy stuff. And then some of the weapon lore, including one really great Keitel Zavala passage I was just made aware of in a weapon I don't have yet, but it is live in the game, so I don't think it's a spoiler per se. But I will get to that in a different video, because I just wanted to focus on the 2 truths and 2 lies entry here. If you have not seen this for yourself yet, find that node on the map if it's there. I don't really know what's going on with that node, but you can actually go and do this for yourself. It's a pretty easy mission, and it's a free, powerful if you can manage to do 2 of these without it glitching out on you. Yeah, so I don't know. All of this indicates to me I think some of these zones are going to come back. There's too many talks about the missing zones and moving worlds around and returning worlds and things like that. So I believe that at some point they are going to kind of resurface these old zones again. Whether they come back and it's just literally like, okay, this patrol zone is back and the strikes that came with it are back, fine. I don't care. That's good enough for me. Like, we need more of that missing stuff back. So I hope that's on the priority list, but obviously they want to mainly focus on making new content, which they've said repeatedly, which is why they've kind of aborted projects in the past. Like, just they stopped expanding the Cosmodrome, even though they said they would, which, like, who cares? Does anyone really care about that anymore? I remember it was like kind of annoying at the time because they literally said they were going to, but at this point, I don't think anyone cares. So anyway, so there's a lot of lore stuff to talk about this season. Easily, I would say the most out of anything, from the base story to these lore entries to bonus things that are happening after the fact, and then there will obviously be an ongoing seasonal story too, with more stuff there. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. It is now 12:30, and I need to go farm that auto rifle from Wellspring because I need to craft it. Wellspring drop rates of deep sight weapons are abysmal, so I'm not actually expecting to get that done today, but we'll see. I've gotten, of the 3 weapons, I've gotten 1 deep sight for the bow. That's it. And that's not even the one I need to craft for the next quest step. I need Tarnation and the auto, so something's got to be done with there. And I hear the master rates aren't better either, because Rick, I guess, is doing that, and he said it's bad, so who knows. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and let me know what your picks are for the 2 truths and 2 lies. I have no idea how to like correctly pick the right ones on this because they're so nebulous, but I will be curious to see which are true and when. So, all right, I'll see you guys. Take care.